Have you ever wondered how Michael Jackson, one of the most famous entertainers in history, fell victim to a dangerous reliance on the anesthetic propofol? From Whitney Houston's struggles with addiction hidden behind her perfect image to Jimi Hendrix's psychedelic genius clouded by chaos. Here are 25 worst black celebrity substance addicts that you didn't know. 1. Michael Jackson. In the shimmering glow of stardom, Michael Jackson reigned supreme, the undisputed king of pop. Yet, behind the dazzling performances and moonwalks lay a grim shadow, a battle with addiction that gripped his life and hastened its tragic end. Struggling with relentless insomnia, Jackson turned to a dangerous elixir, a mix of potent prescription substances, including the powerful anesthetic propofol, which he called his milk. What began as a remedy for sleepless nights soon became a perilous dependency. His grueling schedule and the unyielding pressures of global fame drove him further into the clutches of addiction. With each passing day, his reliance on these substances deepened, isolating him from friends and family. The world was stunned into silence in 2009, when Jackson's life was abruptly cut short by a fatal propofol overdose. The legacy of his music and artistry remains immortal, but his story serves as a somber warning. No amount of fame can shield one from the consuming fire of addiction. 2. Whitney Houston. The voice of Whitney Houston, which seemed to soar to unmatched heights, represented perfection. She inspired millions with her songs, but the grace and brilliance she projected on stage hid a harrowing secret. From the shadows, addiction marked her life, tightening its grip as her fame grew. Behind her flawless exterior lay the chaos of substance dependency that eroded her personal and professional life. Her tumultuous marriage to Bobby Brown became a public spectacle, offering a window into a world of shared pain and self-destruction. Substances dulled the magic of her once angelic voice, leading to missed performances and erratic behavior. By 2012, the tragedy reached its peak. She was found lifeless in a bathtub, and her death revealed a cocktail of substances in her system, marking the end of a life that was as brilliant as it was troubled. 3. Samuel L. Jackson. Long before he commanded the silver screen with his unmistakable presence, Samuel L. Jackson's life teetered on the brink. The 1980s found him ensnared in the relentless grip of a powerful substance, his days consumed by a habit that threatened to extinguish his burgeoning talent. Despite his natural charisma and passion for acting, addiction made him unreliable, an actor on the edge of ruin. The turning point came when his family, desperate to save him, intervened. Rehabilitation offered a lifeline, and Jackson seized it, clawing his way back from the abyss. With sobriety came clarity, and soon roles began to flow his way. One of his earliest triumphs, a raw portrayal of an addict in Jungle Fever, bore the imprint of his own struggles, a performance both cathartic and haunting. Today, Jackson's success stands as a testament to resilience. His journey reminds us that even from the darkest depths, redemption is possible. But how many others have lost their battles before they could fight back? 4. Jimi Hendrix. The electrifying guitar genius Jimi Hendrix seemed to channel otherworldly forces with every strum. Yet, his genius was accompanied by a tempestuous relationship with substances. The psychedelic allure of the 1960s drew him into a spiral of substance use, first with LSD, and later with far more destructive substances like substance and barbiturates. As Hendrix's fame exploded, so did the chaos in his life. His substance-fueled existence began to spill over into his music, sometimes enhancing his creativity, but often wreaking havoc on his personal relationships and health. On a fateful night in 1970, the storm reached its tragic conclusion. After consuming a lethal mix of alcohol and barbiturates, Hendrix succumbed to asphyxiation in his sleep. At just 27 years old, his light was extinguished far too soon. Hendrix's death etched his name into the grim roster of the 27 Club, a group of legendary artists lost in their prime. His story, a mix of brilliance and tragedy, remains a stark reminder of how quickly addiction can dismantle even the most extraordinary lives. 5. Billie Holiday. The voice of Billie Holiday, haunting and unforgettable, was a cry from the soul. The beauty of her music, however, was shadowed by a life of relentless struggle. Substance became both an escape and a curse, entwined with the hardships she faced as a Black woman navigating a segregated world. Addiction, fueled by pain and despair, consumed her and set her on a path marked by heartbreak and persecution. The law hunted her, with arrest for possession serving as grim milestones in a life already fraught with hardship. Stripped of her cabaret license, Holiday was denied access to the clubs that were the lifeblood of her career. Even on her deathbed in 1959, the police loomed, a cruel reminder of the system that had failed her. Billie Holiday's story is one of unyielding talent crushed beneath the weight of systemic oppression and addiction. Her legacy, though tarnished by tragedy, remains a testament to her indomitable spirit and the timeless power of her music. Yet, what could she have achieved in a kinder, more forgiving world? 6. Mary J. Blige. The queen of hip-hop soul, Mary J. Blige, walked a path riddled with shadows. Her ascent to fame was a triumph, but behind the glamour lay a haunting battle with addiction. Born into a world of hardship, her life was marked by trauma and poverty. In those early years, the sharp edges of pain drove her toward the numbing embrace of substances and alcohol. As her star rose, the demons grew stronger. The relentless pressures of the music industry and the weight of personal suffering intertwined in a self-destructive spiral. Addiction crept into every corner of her life, threatening her career and alienating her from those she loved. Fame couldn't shield her from the quiet storms brewing within. Eventually, Blige reached a turning point. She confronted the chains of addiction and began the arduous climb toward freedom. Through therapy, reflection, and an unyielding resolve, she found sobriety. With clarity restored, her music transformed, a symphony of resilience, healing, and empowerment. Today, Mary J. Blige stands as a beacon, her story a rallying cry for those lost in their struggles. 7. Naomi Campbell. The towering supermodel of the 90s, Naomi Campbell, exuded grace on the runway, but wrestled with chaos behind the scenes. Her journey through substance addiction was a turbulent chapter that threatened to unravel her groundbreaking career. As the first Black model to achieve global superstardom, Campbell's brilliance was often shadowed by the suffocating demands of her industry. Substances became a cruel refuge, offering false promises of control. Before long, the addiction seeped into her professional life. Erratic behavior and legal troubles cast a dark cloud over her achievements, putting her legacy at risk. At the height of her influence, she teetered on the brink. In 2004, Campbell's resolve rose from the ashes. Rehabilitation became her lifeline, allowing her to rebuild and reimagine her life. Sobriety restored her grace, not just on the catwalk, but in her mission to inspire others. Today, her advocacy amplifies the voices of those battling substance misuse, urging them to seek light in their darkest hours. 8. Chaka Khan. The queen of funk, Chaka Khan, lit up stages with electrifying energy, yet behind the dazzling lights, she waged a decades-long war with addiction. Her struggles with alcohol and substances became an inseparable part of her narrative, intertwining struggle and triumph throughout her career. The 80s were a tempestuous time for Khan, as the demands of fame collided with addiction's relentless grip. The chaos of stardom pulled her further into the void, affecting her performances and straining her relationships. Even her voice, a gift celebrated around the globe, at times seemed to falter under the weight of her struggles. But Chaka Khan fought back. Rehabilitation became her lifeline, and sobriety ushered in a period of renewal. Emerging from the haze, she embraced a vibrant lifestyle that reignited her artistry. Her music evolved, imbued with themes of redemption and resilience. Off stage, she shares her journey openly, standing as a beacon of hope for those striving to reclaim their lives. 9. Etta James. A voice of raw power and unyielding emotion, Etta James endured a harrowing journey through substance addiction. Her struggle began in the vulnerability of her youth, tightening its grip as her fame blossomed. The haunting specter of addiction followed her like a shadow, casting darkness over her brightest moments. Legal troubles and imprisonment marked her path, dimming the light of her immense talent. The chaos derailed her career and fractured relationships with those who believed in her potential. Yet, even in her darkest hours, James' voice remained a vessel of profound emotion, speaking to the pain and longing that shaped her life. Through rehabilitation and unrelenting resolve, James reclaimed her life. The raw vulnerability of her music became a testament to her journey, resonating deeply with audiences who saw not just her talent, but her humanity. Though her struggles left indelible scars, her triumph stands as a beacon of hope. 10. Rick James. The electrifying mastermind behind Super Freak, Rick James lived a life defined by indulgence. His descent into substance addiction was both spectacular and tragic, reflecting the duality of genius and chaos. In the 80s, James was unstoppable, his music revolutionizing funk and captivating the world. But the fire that fueled his creativity also consumed him. Addiction became his constant companion, driving erratic behavior and a string of legal troubles. Collaborators drifted away, and his health deteriorated under the strain of excess. Despite multiple attempts at sobriety, relapse loomed, pulling him back into the abyss. The brilliance of his art became overshadowed by the darkness of his struggles. By the time of his death in 2004, James had left an indelible mark on music, but his life's narrative was one of caution. The consequences of addiction haunted him, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of talent when consumed by unbridled indulgence. 11. Lauryn Hill. A voice that once echoed with raw truth and brilliance, Lauryn Hill found herself slipping into the shadows, far from the spotlight she once owned. As a member of the Fugees and the mastermind behind the groundbreaking The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, she was hailed as a genius, a beacon of artistry. But fame, with its unrelenting gaze, bore down on her. Whispers began to circulate, rumors of self-medication and struggles with substances. Hill herself pointed to the weight of mental and emotional battles as her reason for retreating from the music world. It was as if the light she once radiated had turned inward, illuminating wounds few could see. In fleeting performances over the years, she reemerged, her voice carrying the echoes of her pain and resilience. Her story begs the question, what price must one pay for brilliance? 12. Flavor Flav. The flamboyant figure adorned with oversized clocks, Flavor Flav hid a torment behind his eccentricity. As Public Enemy's hype man, his energy electrified stages, but his addiction to substance unraveled his world in ways most fans never saw. Arrests, domestic disputes, and legal troubles became the dark undercurrent of his fame. How could someone who stood for revolution and change fall prey to such destruction? Recovery became his redemption. Embracing sobriety, he turned to reality television, using the spotlight to rebuild a fractured image. Flavor of Love may have been polarizing, but it marked a turning point. Today, his voice speaks not just of music, but of survival, offering hope to those lost in the grip of addiction. The clock on his neck still swings, but now it ticks with purpose. 13. DMX. Known to the world as DMX, Earl Simmons howled with the pain that resonated deeply. Behind his gruff voice and gritty lyrics lay a life marred by addiction, a battle that began in his youth. Substance became his demon, shadowing him even as he climbed to the pinnacle of rap stardom. Arrests, courtrooms, and rehab centers became as frequent as chart-topping hits. His story was one of duality, an artist whose words empowered millions, yet a man ensnared by his own struggles. In 2021, his heart succumbed to the weight of his addiction. DMX's legacy remains a cautionary tale, a haunting reminder of how relentless and unforgiving addiction can be. And still, his music asks us, how do we find healing in a world so broken? 14. Richard Pryor. The comedian who turned life's darkest moments into laughter, Richard Pryor couldn't escape his own flames. Substance, his substance of choice, became both a muse and a destroyer. In 1980, an unimaginable accident, freebasing substance, left him engulfed in flames and scarred for life. That moment was not just physical destruction, but a manifestation of a battle that had raged within him for years. Despite attempts to overcome his addiction, Pryor's struggles continued, leaving traces in his erratic behavior and fragile health. Yet, his comedic genius remained untouched. Pryor's life became a paradox, a man who made millions laugh but battled pain few could comprehend. What does it mean to live as a symbol of resilience while being so deeply vulnerable? 15. Bobby Brown. The self-proclaimed bad boy of R&B, Bobby Brown, danced on the edge of chaos. His rise to fame was meteoric, but addiction to substance and alcohol sent him plummeting. His tumultuous relationship with Whitney Houston became the stuff of tabloid infamy. Their shared struggles with substance misuse painting a tragic portrait of love and destruction. Tragedy struck twice, with the deaths of Houston in 2012 and their daughter Bobby Christina in 2015. These losses became a reckoning for Brown, pushing him to confront the depths of his addiction. In sobriety, he's found a new mission: to advocate for recovery and resilience. Bobby Brown's journey, riddled with pain yet marked by transformation, reminds us that even after the harshest storms, redemption is possible. But at what cost? 16. Charlie Parker. Famously known as Bird, Charlie Parker was a legend who revolutionized jazz with his haunting saxophone melodies. Behind his genius, however, lurked a sinister shadow: addiction. Introduced to substance as a teenager, Parker's life became an entanglement of brilliance and despair. His saxophone was his soul, yet there were moments he pawned it away for a fleeting fix. How does a man so deeply in love with music give up his lifeline? The answer lies in the dark allure of his dependency, an escape from the pressures of fame and the pain of existence. His addiction drained his health, finances, and relationships, yet his music never faltered, capturing both his agony and his brilliance. He continued to create sounds that defined an era, even as his personal world crumbled. By 34, the melody of Parker's life was tragically silenced. His story leaves one pressing question: how many more unspoken struggles echo within the music that moves us? 17. Old Dirty Bastard. A name as wild as his style, Old Dirty Bastard, or ODB, was the firecracker of Wu-Tang Clan. He shattered norms, bringing rawness and unpredictability to hip-hop, but his explosive creativity came at a cost. Addiction tightened its grip on him, fueling erratic behavior and endless legal troubles. A genius, undone by chaos. ODB's life spiraled, punctuated by stints in prison and battles that left his music overshadowed by headlines of turmoil. Yet when he rapped, the world stopped to listen. His style was unmatched, a raw energy that pulled listeners into his world of unfiltered emotion. His untimely death at 35 from a fatal overdose serves as a stark reminder that genius often comes with a burden too heavy to bear. Could his story have ended differently, or was he always destined to burn out like a shooting star? 18. Wendy Williams. The outspoken queen of media, Wendy Williams built a career on candid commentary and fearless interviews, but behind the scenes, the early days of her success were entangled with a substance addiction that threatened to derail her ascent. The pressures of radio and television became unbearable, and substance offered a cruel refuge. She hid her struggles well, presenting a polished front to the world. Yet over time, Williams took control of her narrative. She emerged as a powerful advocate for sobriety, using her platform to shed light on addiction's grip. Her resilience in the face of such adversity became an inspiration to many. Her story transformed from one of hidden pain to a beacon of resilience. Wendy's triumph begs the question: how many public figures battle unseen wars, their smiles masking stories of pain? 19. Phyllis Hyman. With a voice like velvet and performances that stirred souls, Phyllis Hyman hid a darkness beneath her radiant stage presence. Severe depression and substance misuse plagued her life, a battle she rarely revealed. While her music spoke of love and heartbreak, her private struggles told a more harrowing tale. On a fateful day in 1995, just hours before a performance, Hyman took her own life. The note she left behind unveiled a profound anguish. Her death shook the music world and highlighted the dire need to address mental health within the entertainment industry. Fans mourn not only her talent, but the pain she bore silently. Her legacy is bittersweet, a voice that continues to inspire, but a story that warns of the silent pain even the brightest stars endure. What can be done to ensure others don't fall through the substance and receive the help they desperately need? 20. Nate Dogg. The soulful king of hip-hop hooks, Nate Dogg was a cornerstone of the West Coast sound. His melodic voice elevated countless tracks, making him an irreplaceable figure in music. Yet, fame could not shield him from personal demons and the toll of a relentless lifestyle. In 2007, Nate suffered a debilitating stroke, followed by another a year later. Whispers of substance misuse swirled, adding a layer of tragedy to his declining health. Despite his struggles, Nate's contributions to hip-hop remain monumental, leaving fans with a treasure trove of unforgettable music. By 2011, at just 41 years old, his voice was silenced forever. Nate Dogg's story is a somber reminder that behind the rhythms and rhymes we love lie fragile lives shaped by sacrifice and struggle. It raises a poignant question: how many more icons must we lose before we learn to better care for those who create the art we cherish? 21. Chris Kelly. The vibrant spirit behind the 1990s rap duo Criss Cross, Chris Kelly once danced atop the world, a mere child commanding stages and radio waves with the smash hit Jump. Fame found him young, barely a teenager, catapulting him into a world of flashing lights and roaring crowds. Yet beneath the baggy clothes and catchy beats lay a boy grappling with pressures far beyond his years. The brighter his star shone, the more shadows grew behind him. As the years stretched on, the substance began to show. Substances crept into his life, whispers of substance and substance becoming the chains that would bind him. Kelly's addiction was a private war, waged in the silence of those who feared for him. By his 30s, the boy who once inspired joy found himself fading into obscurity, the weight of his struggles pulling him under. His efforts to reclaim his career and life often faltered, the past casting a long and unforgiving shadow. In 2013, at just 34, Chris Kelly's battle ended in tragedy. A substance overdose claimed the life of a man who had once been a symbol of youthful exuberance. His death serves as a haunting reminder. What becomes of the young stars who are given everything yet guided by no one? His legacy remains bittersweet, a testament to fleeting fame and its devastating costs. 22. Cat Williams. A name synonymous with unfiltered wit and electrifying humor, Cat Williams commanded the stage with magnetic energy. His voice became a rallying cry for those who found solace in laughter. Yet, behind the curtain, a darker tale unfolded. Fame brought with it demons, addiction, legal battles, and erratic behavior that became as much a part of his story as the jokes that earned him acclaim. Substance misuse took its toll, leaving a trail of arrests and controversies in his wake. Yet, through the chaos, Williams's resilience shone. He continued to stand on stage, bearing his soul and transforming his pain into humor. His comedy cut through society's facade, revealing the raw and the real, an artist unafraid to confront the world or himself. Fans saw not just a comedian, but a man fighting to maintain his place in a world that often felt hostile. Despite his struggles, Cat's legacy grows, his ability to find light in the darkest places, inspiring countless fans. His journey is far from over, a testament to the strength it takes to rise while carrying the weight of one's demons. But one question lingers. Can laughter alone mend the wounds left by fame's unrelenting grip? 23. Rob Pilatus. The picture of success, Rob Pilatus was half of the pop sensation Milli Vanilli. His voice, or so we thought, defined a generation. But the truth, hidden behind the glossy veneer of fame, was a ticking time bomb. The revelation that he and his partner had never sung on their tracks shattered their world. In the blink of an eye, Pilatus went from icon to outcast. The fall was brutal. Stripped of his Grammy, ridiculed by the public, and abandoned by an industry that had once celebrated him, Pilatus spiraled into despair. Addiction became his escape, a refuge from the shame and loss that consumed him. Attempts to rebuild his career often felt futile, as he struggled to regain a sense of identity amid the ruins of his former life. Despite these efforts, the weight of his scandal never truly lifted. In 1998, at just 33, Rob Pilatus' life ended in a lonely hotel room in Germany. A substance overdose silenced a man who had once commanded the world's attention. His story begs a chilling question. How many lives have been broken by the lies of the spotlight, and can redemption ever truly erase the scars of betrayal? 24. Frankie Lymon. The golden boy of rock and roll, Frankie Lymon was a star who shone brightly and burned out too soon. At 13, his voice carried a generation, "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?" etching his name into music history. But fame's cruel hand took more than it gave, leaving Lymon to navigate a world that consumed him before he could fully understand it. Substance found him early, a poison that seeped into his veins and stayed. The industry that had once celebrated him offered no lifeline, no guidance for a teenager drowning in the deep end. By his early 20s, he was fighting to reclaim his place, but the music world had largely moved on, leaving him adrift. By the time he turned 25, his life was a patchwork of court cases, broken promises, and unfulfilled dreams. His youthful charm had faded, replaced by the weary visage of a man worn down by life. On a February morning in 1968, the world lost Frankie Lymon, his body found lifeless in a bathroom, a needle nearby. His story is a sobering testament to the fragility of early fame and the devastating power of addiction. 25. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr. The self-proclaimed king of the South, T.I., has lived a life of triumph and tribulation. Fame found him in Atlanta's rap scene, but so did trouble. Following a stint in prison, T.I. turned to prescription substances, a dangerous remedy for the anxiety and pain that plagued him. What began as relief spiraled into addiction, threatening to derail his career and personal life. But T.I. fought back. Seeking help, he emerged stronger, using his platform to advocate for mental health awareness and the dangers of prescription substance misuse. His journey wasn't without setbacks, but each step forward showed his commitment to change. Beyond his music, T.I. has embraced his role as a mentor and advocate, using his experiences to inspire and uplift others. Today, he stands as a beacon of hope, proof that recovery is possible and resilience is real. His story is a reminder that even in the face of despair, transformation is within reach. Fame and fortune might seem like the ultimate dream, but for many Black celebrities, the pressures of the spotlight come with a dark side. Behind the glitz and glamour, alcohol addiction has quietly wrecked lives, ended careers, and caused heartbreaking tragedies. 1. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was a global icon with a voice so powerful that it could stir the deepest emotions. Her rise to fame in the 1980s and 90s was nothing short of meteoric. Hits like I Will Always Love You and Greatest Love of All made her a household name, and she seemed untouchable. But behind her dazzling smile and stunning performances, Whitney faced personal struggles that were difficult to escape. Fame came with relentless pressure, media scrutiny, and personal heartbreaks, pushing her towards substance abuse, including alcohol. Her marriage to Bobby Brown, also battling addiction, only fueled her downward spiral. Despite entering rehab multiple times, she couldn't fully break free from addiction's grasp. In February 2012, the world was shocked when she was found dead in a hotel bathtub. Alcohol, along with other substances, was found in her system. Her tragic fall from grace remains one of the most heartbreaking stories in music history. Yet, despite the struggles, Whitney's voice still resonates with millions, and her legacy as one of the greatest singers ever remains untouchable. Her story reminds us that even the brightest stars can have dark, hidden battles. 2. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor wasn't just a comedian. He was a revolutionary force in stand-up comedy. Known for his brutally honest and hilarious performances, Pryor's comedy came from a deeply personal place. He used his turbulent life as material, crafting stories that left audiences laughing and thinking. But while he made millions laugh, he battled an intense war with himself behind the scenes. Alcohol played a central role in his lifelong struggle with addiction. His troubled childhood, marked by abuse and abandonment, left emotional scars that never fully healed. Alcohol became both a crutch and a source of self-destruction. His addiction caused him to burn bridges, ruin relationships, and suffer several near-fatal incidents. Pryor attempted rehab multiple times, but staying sober proved difficult. His struggles with alcohol and drugs culminated in several health complications. When he passed away in 2005 from a heart attack, the world lost not just a comedic genius, but a man who had laid his soul bare through his art. Pryor's legacy continues, showing that even in the darkest times, humor can still shine through. 3. Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown had it all: talent, fame, and a career that helped shape the R&B landscape of the late 1980s and 90s. As a member of New Edition and later a successful solo artist, he dominated the charts with hits like My Prerogative and Every Little Step. But fame came with the temptations that were hard to resist. Alcohol and drugs slowly crept into Bobby's life, causing chaos in both his career and personal relationships. His high-profile marriage to Whitney Houston was filled with public scandals and personal tragedies, with addiction playing a destructive role on both sides. Their toxic relationship, marked by substance abuse and legal troubles, was tabloid fodder for years. Bobby's addiction led to multiple arrests, health issues, and strained family ties. After losing both Whitney and their daughter Bobby Christina to similar struggles, Bobby finally decided to seek serious help. In recent years, he has focused on sobriety, family, and rebuilding his life. His story is one of heartbreak and resilience, a cautionary tale that reminds us how addiction can consume even the most talented stars, but also how recovery is always possible. 4. Don Cornelius. Don Cornelius was the mastermind behind Soul Train, the iconic music and dance show that revolutionized Black entertainment. To millions, he was a symbol of coolness and success, always exuding confidence on screen. But behind the smooth-talking host was a man struggling with personal demons. Depression and alcohol abuse were constant battles that he fought silently, far away from the public eye. Despite building a legacy that celebrated Black culture like no other show before it, Cornelius faced declining health and growing personal struggles in his later years. He kept much of his pain hidden, maintaining his larger-than-life public persona. However, In 2012, the entertainment world was stunned when news broke of his tragic death by suicide. It was a sobering reminder that even the most successful and seemingly put together individuals can be suffering in silence. Don Cornelius's legacy remains monumental, forever linked to Soul Train, a celebration of Black music, talent, and culture. But his untold struggles with alcohol and depression remind us that fame cannot shield anyone from life's hardships. 5. DMX. DMX was more than a rapper. He was a voice for the broken, the lost, and the struggling. His gritty, passionate music laid bare the pain of a man constantly battling inner demons. Throughout his life, DMX struggled with addiction, including alcohol, which repeatedly landed him in legal trouble, rehab centers, and even prison. His raw and intense lyrics told stories of survival, loss, and redemption, resonating with millions around the world. Despite reaching incredible success with hits like Rough Riders Anthem and Party Up, his battle with addiction never fully loosened his grip. DMX made several public attempts at sobriety, often expressing his desire to change for his children. His open struggles made fans root for his recovery, hoping he could rise above the darkness that had haunted him for so long. Tragically, in April 2021, DMX passed away after a drug overdose, with alcohol reportedly contributing to his declining health. His passing left a void in the music industry, but his legacy of vulnerability and authenticity remains unmatched. DMX's life was both a cautionary tale and a testament to the power of never giving up, even in the face of overwhelming odds. 6. Etta James. Etta James was a force of nature, a blues and soul legend whose voice could move mountains. Hits like At Last and I'd Rather Go Blind earned her a place in music history, but her career was often overshadowed by her struggles. Alcohol addiction, along with drug use, haunted her for decades, sending her in and out of rehab and even jail. Etta's troubles started early, fueled by a chaotic childhood and a relentless music industry that often consumed young artists. As her star rose, her addiction worsened, causing significant career setbacks and legal troubles. Yet, time and time again, she managed to claw her way back. Her determination and resilience earned her several career comebacks, with the late resurgence of her music gaining new generations of fans. When she passed away in 2012, the world lost a music legend. Etta's life was a turbulent ride, filled with heartache, addiction, and redemption. Her voice remains timeless, a powerful reminder of both her struggles and her undeniable talent. 7. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker became a household name thanks to his unforgettable role as Detective James Carter in the Rush Hour film series. His fast-talking, high-energy comedy made him one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. But during the peak of his career, Tucker mysteriously vanished from the spotlight. While many speculated about career burnout or financial troubles, insiders later revealed that alcohol played a role in his Hollywood hiatus. Despite not making headlines like some other celebrities, Tucker's struggles with alcohol were real. The pressures of fame and personal challenges pushed him toward drinking, which reportedly affected his work and personal life. But unlike many in similar situations, Tucker took control of his life before things spiraled out of control. He focused on sobriety, reconnected with his faith, and prioritized his family. His return to stand-up comedy and select film roles showed a healthier, more focused Chris Tucker, ready to reclaim his place in the entertainment world. His story is a quiet but powerful reminder that even behind the laughter and fame, real-life struggles can take a toll. Tucker's comeback is proof that it's never too late to turn things around and find a fresh start. 8. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye's music transcended generations. His soulful voice and timeless hits like What's Going On and Sexual Healing made him a global icon. But while his songs were filled with love, hope, and social consciousness, his personal life told a far darker story. Gaye faced a lifelong struggle with depression, addiction, and family conflict, with alcohol playing a significant role in his downfall. His difficult relationship with his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., was well known. As Marvin's career soared, so did the tensions at home. Alcohol only worsened these problems, amplifying arguments and pushing the already strained father-son relationship to a breaking point. In 1984, after a heated confrontation, his father fatally shot him, a devastating end to a legendary career. Gaye's addiction and personal struggles painted a tragic picture of a man whose music brought light to millions but couldn't escape his inner darkness. His life serves as a cautionary tale about how unresolved personal issues, compounded by addiction, can lead to tragedy. Even decades after his passing, Marvin Gaye's music still resonates, proving that while his life was cut short, his legacy remains eternal. 9. Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan is one of the funniest and most beloved comedic actors in Hollywood, thanks to his hilarious roles on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. But behind the laughs, Morgan faced a harsh reality fueled by alcohol addiction. His drinking started as a way to cope with personal losses, including the deaths of close family members and friends. What began as a way to numb the pain soon spiraled into a serious problem that nearly destroyed his career. His unpredictable behavior, coupled with several legal issues, threatened to overshadow his incredible talent. Fortunately, Morgan realized he was on a dangerous path and sought help. He entered rehab and committed to turning his life around, both for himself and for his family. His comeback was nothing short of inspiring. After surviving a near-fatal car accident in 2014, Morgan returned to comedy with renewed purpose, a deeper appreciation for life, and a renewed focus on his craft. Today, he continues to make audiences laugh while serving as a living example of resilience and redemption. His journey proves that even when life knocks you down, it's possible to rise again, stronger, more determined, and ready to embrace a brighter future. 10. Bill Cosby. For decades, Bill Cosby was considered America's dad, a beloved TV icon thanks to The Cosby Show, which portrayed an idealized family life that millions admired. But before his shocking legal downfall, Cosby quietly battled alcohol issues that were rarely discussed in public. His struggles with alcohol reportedly began during the height of his career, but stayed under the radar due to his carefully managed public image and a well-protected personal life. Insiders have since claimed that alcohol was a way for Cosby to deal with career pressures, mounting expectations, and personal frustrations. His drinking reportedly worsened during the later stages of his life when his career started declining, though his issues never made headlines until much later. Some close to him described how alcohol, coupled with a demanding lifestyle, led to erratic behavior behind closed doors, even when his public persona remained spotless. While his legal troubles and public disgrace have overshadowed his earlier accomplishments, his story serves as a reminder that addiction can affect even those who seem to have it all. Cosby's fall from grace was a long and complex journey, shaped by personal struggles that the world only learned about after his public image shattered. His once celebrated legacy is now a cautionary tale about how personal demons, when left unchecked, can destroy even the most carefully built careers. 11. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross was the king of romantic ballads. His velvety voice melted hearts and set the soundtrack for love stories worldwide with hits like Never Too Much and Here and Now. But beneath the smooth vocals was a man fighting a personal battle with alcohol addiction that affected both his health and career. Vandross struggled with weight issues throughout his life, and alcohol often played a role in his unhealthy coping mechanisms. He dealt with intense loneliness and personal insecurities, turning to alcohol during low points in his life. While his public image remained polished, friends and industry insiders knew about his private struggles. His health took a severe hit due to complications from alcohol-related illnesses, including diabetes and hypertension. Despite these struggles, Vandross continued to deliver iconic performances and release chart-topping albums. Even when his health deteriorated, he poured his heart and soul into his music. His passing in 2005 left a void in the music world, but his songs remain timeless. Vandross's life reminds us that even the most gifted stars can wrestle with addiction while still leaving behind a legacy that will be cherished forever. 12. Rick James. Rick James was larger than life. The funk legend, known for hits like Super Freak and Give It To Me Baby, lived a wild and unapologetic lifestyle that became almost as famous as his music. His career skyrocketed in the 1980s, but behind the flashy clothes and outrageous performances was a man battling a severe addiction to alcohol and drugs. James lived life on the edge, indulging in fame's excesses with reckless abandon. His alcohol addiction fueled his notorious behavior, including arrests and public scandals that often overshadowed his musical brilliance. Despite stints in rehab and attempts to clean up, James struggled to maintain sobriety for long. His addiction eventually led to a significant career decline and serious health issues later in life. Even with all the chaos, Rick James remained a musical genius whose influence can still be felt in today's music. He passed away in 2004 due to heart failure, with alcohol and drug-related health issues cited as contributing factors. His life was a cautionary tale of how addiction can destroy even the most promising careers, yet his undeniable talent continues to shine through his unforgettable music. 13. Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was a force to be reckoned with on the football field. As a star wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, he helped lead the team to 3 Super Bowl championships and became one of the NFL's greatest players. But success on the field came with serious struggles off it. Irvin's life was a roller coaster marked by alcohol and drug addiction that nearly ended both his career and personal life. At the height of his career, Michael Irvin was a dominant force in the NFL, earning multiple Pro Bowl selections and helping lead the Dallas Cowboys to 3 Super Bowl championships. But his addiction to alcohol and drugs led to arrests, drug-related charges, and even suspensions from the NFL. His run-ins with the law and chaotic personal life made headlines as often as his incredible plays on the field, threatening to overshadow his football legacy. It seemed like his career would crash and burn due to his reckless lifestyle, but Irvin hit a turning point after facing serious legal battles that threatened to destroy everything he had worked so hard to build. He realized that change was his only way forward. Committing to his sobriety, he fought hard to overcome his demons and channel his passion for football into a successful post-NFL career as a sports analyst and motivational speaker. Today, Irvin is respected not only for his legendary NFL career, but also for his powerful redemption story. He speaks openly about his struggles, using his journey as a source of inspiration for those facing similar battles. His story proves that even when life seems beyond repair, recovery and personal transformation are always possible. 14. Red Fox. Red Fox was one of the funniest comedians to ever grace the stage, best known for his iconic role as Fred Sanford on Sanford & Son. His sharp wit, timeless punchlines, and unforgettable delivery made him a comedy legend. But behind the laughter, Red Fox battled serious personal struggles, including alcohol addiction, that followed him throughout his life and played a significant role in his career setbacks. His rise to fame wasn't easy. Fox came from humble beginnings, working in small clubs and performing stand-up long before TV discovered his genius. But with success came intense pressures, and alcohol became a way for him to cope with the unpredictable nature of show business. His drinking, combined with poor financial management, bad business deals, and legal troubles, left him struggling financially despite his massive success. His mounting debt even led to the IRS seizing many of his personal belongings at the height of his career. Despite these obstacles, Fox continued performing, delivering unforgettable stand-up acts even when his life seemed to be falling apart. His tragic death in 1991 from a heart attack came while he was attempting to rebuild his career. His legacy as a comedic pioneer remains untouchable, proving that even the funniest people can struggle with serious demons behind the scenes. 15. Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg's smooth, soulful voice defined the sound of West Coast hip-hop. Known for unforgettable hooks and hits like Regulate with Warren G and countless collaborations with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, Nate Dogg was a crucial figure in hip-hop's golden era. But behind the music, he faced serious health struggles caused by alcohol and drug addiction. Nate Dogg's career was skyrocketing in the 1990s, but his battles were never far behind. His substance abuse issues, including alcohol addiction, took a heavy toll on his health. He suffered several strokes, which left him partially paralyzed and struggling to speak. Despite attempts to recover, his condition worsened, ultimately leading to his death in 2011 at just 41 years old. His passing was a massive blow to the hip-hop community. Many of his peers paid tribute to him, remembering him as the voice that made countless songs unforgettable. Though his life was cut tragically short, Nate Dogg's legacy as the master of soulful hooks lives on through his timeless music. His story is a reminder that even legends aren't invincible, and that addiction can have devastating consequences, even for the most talented artists. 16. Samuel L. Jackson. Today, Samuel L. Jackson is one of the most respected actors in Hollywood, starring in iconic films like Pulp Fiction, The Avengers, and Django Unchained. But before becoming the superstar we know today, Jackson was fighting a serious battle with addiction. Alcohol and drugs almost derailed his acting career before it ever truly began. In the late 1970s and early 80s, Jackson was a struggling actor living in New York, performing in small theater productions while battling a growing addiction. Alcohol, in particular, became a dangerous escape from the frustrations and hardships he faced. His addiction spiraled out of control, reaching a breaking point when his family found him passed out in their home from an overdose. That moment became a wake-up call. Jackson entered rehab and decided to take control of his life. His determination paid off, and he soon landed life-changing roles that propelled him to stardom. He has been sober ever since and often speaks openly about his struggles, hoping to inspire others fighting similar battles. Samuel L. Jackson's journey from addiction to becoming one of the world's highest-grossing actors is a powerful story of resilience, redemption, and the possibility of second chances. 17. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was one of the most eccentric and talented players in NBA history. Known for his defensive prowess, rebounds, and larger-than-life personality, Rodman was a key figure in the Chicago Bulls championship dynasty. But off the court, his life was a whirlwind of chaos, fueled by alcohol and reckless behavior. Rodman's partying lifestyle became legendary: wild Vegas trips, outrageous public stunts, and frequent run-ins with the law. His struggles with alcohol addiction were well documented, leading to multiple arrests and public meltdowns. His addiction also strained relationships with teammates, coaches, and even his family. Despite several stints in rehab, Rodman found it difficult to stay sober. His battles continued well after his NBA career ended, leaving him broke and facing legal troubles. In recent years, Rodman has made efforts to stay sober and rebuild his life, though challenges persist. His story highlights how fame, fortune, and extraordinary talent can't shield anyone from the destructive grip of addiction. Rodman's complicated legacy is one of both triumph and personal struggle, making him one of the most fascinating figures in sports history. 18. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill was once the brightest star in music, thanks to her groundbreaking album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which earned her 5 Grammy Awards and critical acclaim. Her blend of soul, hip-hop, and R&B reshaped the music industry, making her an icon almost overnight. But her career took a sharp turn, plagued by personal struggles, legal issues, and a rumored battle with alcohol that added to her turbulent life. Though her addiction issues were never fully confirmed, insiders have long suggested that alcohol played a role in her retreat from the public eye. Hill faced immense pressure after her meteoric rise, reportedly driving her into isolation. Coupled with strained relationships, financial troubles, and intense media scrutiny, alcohol allegedly became a coping mechanism for the reclusive star. Her struggles with trust and the demands of celebrity life seemed to weigh heavily on her creative spirit. Despite these struggles, Hill has occasionally returned to the stage, though never with the same consistency or creative output that marked her early career. Fans still hold out hope that she will make a full comeback one day. Lauryn Hill's legacy remains intact, thanks to her timeless music, but her journey also highlights the cost of living under the constant spotlight. 19. Ja Rule. Ja Rule was one of the biggest names in hip-hop during the late 90s and early 2000s, dominating the charts with hits like Always on Time, Mesmerize, and Put It On Me. His signature voice and catchy hooks made him a global sensation, but while his music career was on fire, his personal life was far from perfect. Ja Rule's history of alcohol-related incidents and arrests made headlines just as much as his platinum-selling records. His legal troubles, including arrests for gun possession, assault charges, and tax evasion, were often fueled by alcohol-fueled bad decisions that kept him in and out of courtrooms. At the peak of his fame, Ja Rule lived a fast-paced life filled with parties, fame, and endless temptation. Alcohol played a significant role in several of his public altercations, leading to legal battles that threatened his career and reputation. His time behind bars forced him to reflect on his life and reevaluate his priorities. Since then, Ja Rule has made efforts to turn things around, embracing sobriety and focusing on family, entrepreneurship, and even reality TV appearances. His story reminds us that fame can magnify personal struggles, but also offers second chances if one is willing to change and fight for a better future. 20. Fantasia. Barrino. Fantasia Barrino's rise to fame was nothing short of inspiring. After winning American Idol in 2004, she quickly became a beloved figure in the music world, known for her powerful voice and emotional performances that could bring audiences to tears. But success came with personal struggles that nearly derailed her promising career. Behind the scenes, Fantasia dealt with intensely personal issues, including depression, financial troubles, and heartbreak, all of which reportedly led her to alcohol as a way to cope with the overwhelming pressures of fame and personal loss. Her struggles became public after she revealed a near-fatal suicide attempt in 2010, shocking fans worldwide and sparking concern for her well-being. In emotional interviews, Fantasia opened up about hitting rock bottom, admitting that turning to alcohol only worsened her problems and left her feeling trapped in a cycle of despair. However, she managed to pull herself out of that dark place through therapy, family support, and a renewed commitment to her faith in music. Fantasia's comeback story is nothing short of remarkable. She has since rebuilt her career, starred on Broadway, earned Grammy nominations, and continues to release soul-stirring music. Her journey proves that even when life feels unbearable, redemption is possible with determination, self-love, and faith. 21. Tara Reid. Tara Reid rose to fame in the late 90s and early 2000s, becoming a pop culture icon with roles in American Pie and Van Wilder. However, her wild partying lifestyle soon overshadowed her acting career. Although she was never officially labeled an alcoholic, reports and tabloid stories frequently suggested that alcohol played a significant role in her struggles in Hollywood. Reid became a regular in the tabloid press, often photographed leaving nightclubs looking disoriented. Her drinking reportedly led to missed career opportunities, public scandals, and personal hardships. Hollywood's unforgiving nature, coupled with her party girl reputation, made it difficult for her to be taken seriously as an actress. Tara eventually acknowledged her partying past, admitting that she had lost control at times. Despite the setbacks, Tara Reid has worked on turning her life around. She's been candid about her struggles and continues to pursue acting projects while maintaining a much lower public profile. Her story is a cautionary tale about how the Hollywood spotlight can magnify personal struggles, but also how it's never too late for a comeback. 22. Tyson Beckford. Tyson Beckford was the face of the fashion industry in the 90s, becoming one of the most famous male models in the world. His striking looks and undeniable charm made him a household name, appearing in campaigns for Ralph Lauren and countless magazines. But life wasn't always glamorous behind the scenes. Beckford has been open about using alcohol to cope with personal struggles, particularly during low points in his life when the pressures of fame felt overwhelming. For Beckford, alcohol became a way to numb the stress that came with constant media attention and career uncertainty. However, he realized that drinking was only making things worse, causing emotional and professional setbacks. Determined to reclaim control of his life, he embraced sobriety and focused on his personal growth. Beckford also turned to fitness and martial arts, which helped him maintain both his physical and mental health. Today, Tyson Beckford remains a respected figure in the entertainment and fashion industries. His story serves as a powerful reminder that even people who seem to have it all can face serious struggles, and that self-awareness and hard work can lead to recovery and a better future. 23. Mo'Nique. Mo'Nique is a trailblazing actress and comedian known for her powerful performances in films like Precious, which earned her an Academy Award. While her professional success has been celebrated, her personal life has seen its fair share of struggles. Though she has never publicly labeled herself an alcoholic, Mo'Nique has hinted at past struggles with alcohol during difficult periods of her life. Mo'Nique has spoken about the intense challenges she faced, from being typecast in Hollywood to dealing with personal issues in her marriage and career. During some of her hardest moments, alcohol reportedly became a way to numb the pain. But Mo'Nique didn't let her struggles define her. She turned to family, faith, and a healthier lifestyle to regain control of her life. Her resilience helped her build a stronger, more balanced career. She now focuses on comedy, acting, and even motivational speaking, inspiring others to push through life's darkest moments. Mo'Nique's story shows that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to rebuild, find strength in vulnerability, and come back even stronger than before. 24. Jaheim. Jaheim was once considered one of R&B's brightest stars, known for soulful hits like Just in Case and Say, Put That Woman First. But as his career peaked, Jaheim faced personal struggles that led to a dramatic decline. Reports suggested that alcohol addiction played a significant role in his downfall, affecting both his professional life and personal well-being. His battle with alcohol reportedly caused erratic behavior, missed performances, and strained industry relationships. As his career faded, Jaheim's troubles became more evident, with legal issues and concerning public appearances raising alarm among fans. Despite his troubles, Jaheim occasionally resurfaced, hinting at possible comebacks, though consistency has remained a challenge. His story serves as a sobering reminder of how addiction can disrupt even the most promising careers. While Jaheim's legacy as a gifted R&B singer remains intact, his struggles have overshadowed his once promising career. Many fans still hope that he can find lasting recovery and return to making the music that once made him a star. 25. Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard is a gifted actor known for unforgettable roles in films like Hustle and Flow and the hit TV series Empire, but beneath his successful Hollywood career lies a personal life marked by struggles with addiction, including alcohol. Howard has admitted that he turned to alcohol during some of his most difficult moments, using it as a coping mechanism for personal and professional pressures. His tumultuous personal life, including failed relationships and legal troubles, often played out in the media. Howard's drinking reportedly made things worse, contributing to erratic behavior and strained family ties. However, he eventually recognized that alcohol was causing more harm than good and sought help. Since then, Howard has worked hard to rebuild his life, focusing on his acting career and personal growth. His story highlights how even the most talented and successful individuals can face personal battles. It also shows that confronting those issues head-on is the only way to move forward. Today, Terrence Howard's career continues to thrive, a testament to his resilience and determination to rise above life's challenges. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.